Yeah, before we get started, I just want to share a story with you because 4 years ago, I guess, I was on a panel about data is the new oil, you know that? And actually, at the end of the day, we talked rather about data protection and all the germ issues about data and not how to unleash the value of data. And I was a little bit pissed off and said, I'm a data lover. And that was the time when I found my company, Data Lovers. And 1 year ago, I got an invitation for a conference called Data Lover, and it's, wow, that's the highest level of personalization I ever got. There's a conference based on my company's name. That's really great. And that was the time when I talked to Christian and say, I have to join this conference, and that's the reason why I'm here. And I'm really happy to share my thoughts about AI and the impact of digital marketing. So, should I stay here? Can I take the other mic? No, it doesn't work. Okay. So I have to handle this in some way. Okay, do my best. So, it's all about data. Data is the new bacon, and I know you're all very much familiar with data. Click through data, add data, whatever. So can I switch to the other one? Because I'm not really good at the... Okay. So data is not that new for you guys. I'm pretty much aware of that. But now, hopefully, we can switch to the other one. Hello? Hello? Should I wait, or? I can take this one, no worries. But there's so much more data out there beyond demographics and clicks. For example, if you combine social media data with market research data, and then you apply artificial intelligence, then you could come up with very interesting insights. For example, and this is really interesting, if you have just 9 likes, the system has the knowledge of your working colleague. If you have more likes, for example, 250 likes, then the system knows as much about you as your family. And now it gets spooky. If the system has more than 300 likes, the system knows more about yourself. So just taking data out there in the internet, combining it with market research, applying artificial intelligence. Of course, we not only have this boring Facebook likes, and I think you all know we have those mobile devices, and I'm not sure if you know that these devices are equipped with over 50 sensors. They keep track what's going on, the pace which we walk, what is your background noise, what is the temperature. So there's so much information out there you can use to come to digital empathy. It goes beyond demographics. All this human activity, the health data we have. So we talked about insights. Maybe this is the next level of getting insights of your audience. And of course, if we talk about data-driven marketing, there are so many data out there. The Gartner says every month the number of data sources grow about 80%. So all the programmatic advertising, e-commerce, social, you name it, produce and consume data at the same time. And of course, we have pics out there on Instagram, on Facebook. And before I dive into the artificial intelligence stuff, I have some human intelligence tests for you. Hopefully you guys can see the difference. So you see a muffin, and you see a nice dog, so something to cuddling with and something to eat. At least in the European region, that should be a difference. But you won't believe there's no AI out there which will be able to make the difference, provided we only have these few data. But because in the time of big data, we have so many data out there to train and learn the system. And now, when it comes to image recognition, AI is doing a better job than human beings because we have the data to train, to learn. Actually, there's not a single good definition out there for AI. This is the best one, I think. Artificial intelligence is the study of how to make computers do things at which at the moment people are better. So it's a race. AI always tries to catch up. Maybe you remember Kasparov, 1996, was beaten by AI. Then I think you're all aware of AlphaGo, Go. Lee Sedol, the champion in Go, the oldest board game in the world, was beaten by AI. Nobody could imagine that. And now, applied to the marketing area, when it comes to programmatic advertising, AI is doing a better job than we are able to do. When it comes to creative stuff in marketing, storytelling, strategic thinking, we'll see. There are also some interesting applications which are even more creative than human beings. There are two things I have to mention when it comes to AI. There's so much buzz, there's so much bullshit around AI at the moment. AI is not really intelligent, I have to say that. Think of the AlphaGo example. The system played 9 million times against itself to learn the game. It's not really smart, isn't it? The other thing is, and this is really interesting, the system are getting smarter in a way that they learn to learn. So we have human-like decisions without being predefined. It's not just machine learning. It's a system that gets more and more adaptive, autonomous, and is able to learn. For example, AlphaGo was left completely unsupervised and learned to play Go. And that's a game changer. And that's interesting what it means in the marketing area. But at the end of the day, there's so much hype around AI, it gives us just the illusion that the system is intelligent. But I don't care about that. If at the end of the day I can increase revenue, increase in conversion rate, I don't care. And to simplify the matter, I would stay to the term AI. Strictly spoken, it would be better to talk about artificially augmented intelligence. Okay, let's play to the digital marketing area, and I start with my first game changer. You can see there are a lot of use cases, and I guess you are more or less aware of them. So you can do this marketing automation, we have this real-time bidding, all that stuff. So the size of the bubble reflects the usage level, and the color reflects the maturity level. So, and you can see on the right side, okay, there are a lot of use cases that are already really supported by AI when it comes to automation, efficiency, and all that stuff. On the other hand, it's the more creative part when it comes to storytelling, media planning, to create some fancy stuff on your website. And you won't believe, on the right side, there are so many room for improvement, but that's also a window of opportunity for AI where we can benefit from. So, and I would like to come up with two examples. The first one, I think you're all familiar with lookalike audience, customer audience on Facebook, I guess so. If not, I will explain it shortly. We are doing a project together with Ströer, and the question was, could we find lookalike audiences across the whole digital universe? If you talk lookalike audiences at Facebook, we are just in the walled garden of Facebook. You can lookalike at LinkedIn, Xing, but you always are limited to a certain ecosystem. And the idea was, can we come up with an audience across the whole universe? And this is a B2B case, I have to say. So, Ströer provided us with the A customers, and now we took the company data. I think you all know the firmographics, the industry, the number of employees, the revenue, and we enriched this data using digital data, around 10,000 data points. What's said on social media, what's said on the website, what technology is in place. You can gather so much information about companies out there. And then we combined the digital demographic with the company data, and then we use AI, and AI is able to figure out what is your next customer. And not only what is your next customer, what is the right channel to engage? What is the right message to engage? What is the right time to engage? I'm a huge fan of intent-based marketing, to figure out the intent to engage with the audience. This is exactly the strength of AI, to connect all the dots out there. When it comes to talk to the customer, when it's about empathy, maybe it's the strength of human beings and not for machines. And of course, the question came up at Ströer, so do we have to replace our sales reps? And I say, no worries. The sales rep should not afraid about AI. the sales rep should be afraid of employees armed with AI because they are doing a better job. Okay, this is more or less a programmatic approach using AI. What about the creative stuff? And this is also hyped at the moment very much. I'm not very familiar with that, to be honest, so Games of Thrones. And what I did, we talked about predictive analytics, and this is called predictive content. Maybe you know they decided not to continue, and the AI community said, no problem, we have so much stuff there, we have all the books, the episodes, and we feed it in the AI system, and the AI systems predict the next story. Maybe you know that from your mobile, you can predict the next letter, you can predict the next word, and here we predict the next story, Games of Thrones. You can read it on the internet, it's not that bad, it's unbelievable. It's a creative part, it's not that programmatic part. So AI is getting more and more creative. 2 months ago, there was a commercial produced by AI from Lexus. This is usually something which is related to human beings, right? To come up as a creative commercial spot. No, it's done by AI. And finally, for all the Netflix guys, Netflix uses big data and AI to personalize trailer. So some of you might have a trailer where a fast car, or some of you would prefer some nice girls in the film. So depending on your performance, your behavior, your interest, they customize the trailer, okay? So the interesting thing now is that AI goes beyond personalization and take on creating products, creating movies, creating whatever you think of. That's the game-changing part. So actually, this is something humans are doing, creating products. Now it's done by artificial intelligence. That was my first game changer. Now the next one. AI will change brands and markets. I think you're all used to live in this world. We compete against other brands. We have a whole bunch of tools. We can do retargeting, newsletter, programmatic, and all that stuff. We have different channels, and we try to approach the customers and win the game, right? Multi-channel management, all that stuff. It's changing because we all know we have this so-called platform economy, and the evil gaffer, Google, Amazon, Facebook, are hijacking the relationship between you and your customers. In a way, it's a kind of monopolization and centralization of the user interface. But it's also very convenient, right? As a consumer, you get information for free, it's easy to use. For companies, it's so easy to run a customer Facebook audience to do advertising. But there are also some challenges and some problems if you live in the right world, because who owns the data? Who has a contact to the customer? Let's have a deep dive. I think you all know Alexa and smart home, everything is connected marketing, and even the toothbrush is equipped by Alexa. You might say, does it make sense to talk to your toothbrush? So maybe if you're bored, could be. No, but if you need a new one, the system automatically order a new one. If you run out of washing powder, the system automatically order a new one. So what does it mean? At the end of the day, the decision-making process is not related to humans, it's related to the digital assistant. We're talking for digital marketing for years, but at the end of the day, we always try to approach a human being, right? But does it make sense to have storytelling, emotional branding, and all that stuff, and at the end of the day, there's a silly bot making the decision? The problem is that the giants like Google, Facebook, are misusing the power of their gatekeeper function. They tune the algorithm in a way that they're favoring their partners or their business model. Maybe you know last year in the US there was a couple of test buyings using Amazon Alexa, and they find out they want to buy batteries, and Alexa recommended not the cheapest and best batteries. They were pretty expensive, and the ratings weren't that good, but it was a private label from Amazon. So the question is, becomes convenience more important than brands? And how do we manage these challenges? On the other hand, there's an interesting development right now. It's called portable AI. So our devices get smarter and smarter and are fueled with AI. And this is some kind of neutral intelligence. These are the new digital assistants that protect us from the evil Google, Facebook, Apple universe. So they act in the user's interest. It's hard to decide whether they're going to make the race. But what's for sure, AI will change markets and brands. And I call it the post-human marketing. Sounds spooky and crazy, I know. But if you think this through to the end, we will have more and more engagement with bots. We have bot-to-bot communication, bot-to-bot interaction. And this has a huge implication on digital marketing. So now my biggest game changer. AI is changing the whole world. The digital ecosystem in which we live is completely shaped by AI. So let's get back to Web 1.0, long time ago. Can you remember Netscape or Yahoo, where we tried to organize the web manually? So, we have a directory shopping, we have a directory whatever business, sport. It doesn't work. Now, the internet is organized by AI, you know, RankBrain. Google decides what's on the first page, it's the AI. What you can see on your Facebook feed is ruled by AI. Everything is ruled by AI, right? Now we have the Outernet, the Internet of Things. As I mentioned, everything is connected. We live in a connected world, so we need connected marketing. And what's really interesting, we have the Internet of Thoughts. So like a brain sucker, you can extract thought and share it via the internet. There's a video on the internet, you have to see that. It's really, really amazing. The next phase, the bioweb. So we have web-enabled biological devices. For example, you can use plants for air pollution monitoring. Crazy. And finally, it's super intelligence, singularity. This is when AI takes over. This is when Arnold Schwarzenegger comes into play, the science fiction stuff. And the thing is, in this phase, we use AI to optimize the internet, to deliver perfect customer experience. In this world, AI is not only organizing the internet, it's managing it, it controls it, it owns it. Please remember my definition. We have systems that learn to learn. Google came up with the first AI that produce AI systems that are better than AI system that human creates. In this time, we live in a world where we are ruled by systems we do not know, we do not understand, we're not in the driver's seat anymore. And that's exactly why Elon Musk said, now we have to define the rules, otherwise we will lose the game. Okay, I know, far away from business. Now I see some question marks in your faces. The question is, bring it down to business. So how can I get the shit done today with AI? Okay, let's get back to business. Okay. So, and I would leave you with some recommendations at the end. I'm a huge fan of maturity models. Sounds academic, but it's pretty easy to use. So if you want to start AI, it doesn't make sense to jumpstart to the leader level like Amazon, Google, Facebook. So it could make sense to, okay, what is my current state? What could be the next step? And what I like behind maturity models is the benchmark rationale. You can see what are other companies doing in your peer group or what other companies are doing across industries. So you have a face-to-face approach to see what could be the next step. And of course, there's also some tools that help you to structure the AI part. Please remember the solution metrics I introduced to you. So pinpoint the use cases that had the biggest impact on your business. Then you have to do the reality check. Once again, it's all about data. So once you have pinpointed a use case, you have to find out, do you have the data in terms of quality and quantity? And finally, you should map it to the customer journey, trying to figure out what is the contribution of AI for a certain touch point in terms of customer experience, revenue, and costs. So very straightforward. You have to pinpoint your use cases. Try to check if you have the data available. Otherwise, you need to have a data strategy. Map it with the customer journey and get it done. And if you would like to have a deep dive, there are also some fantastic books out there, but I don't want to make a sales pitch. So if you're interested in this maturity model, there's a QR code there. I would love to share that free of charge, of course, with you, and I would be happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter. And sorry, Mariana, for chiming in here. Thanks for the great presentation. We not only personalized our event to your past company, we also put the date of the event on his birthday. So, my team always hated this, but we're going to do it today. We're going to sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Peter. Happy birthday to you.
All right, so now I'm going to steal my microphone back and ask, we have a couple of minutes for a quick question for Peter. I mean, I think we just also need to let his presentation sink in a bit. Any questions or maybe a comment from the audience? Still confused by a higher level. Everybody's so shy today. Come on, guys. No? All right, so what if I ask you then? So who's doing this well? Which are the companies that are successfully incorporating artificial intelligence into their marketing activities, and what can we learn from them?
That's a really good question because I focus very much on the Google and Amazon and Facebook. But when it comes to translation, what tool usually you use? Google? I don't think so. It's DeepL, you know that? It's a startup of Cologne, so it's not only this scuffle word. Actually, I don't like this German bashing, but we are really behind. And if you look at the successful companies in the AI field, it's unfortunately not Germany. There are a lot of startups in India, in France, and they're doing a good job. If you look at Germany, I think our strength is we have a lot of data. You won't believe. Look at the IoT. Bosch is really making a great job doing all this connected cars, connected devices, and they're using AI. Nobody knows that, actually. And my favorite is Otto. It's not Amazon, it's Otto. So Otto is so much data-driven. They use AI in such a smart way that's really unbelievable. And what can you learn from them? You should hire 100 data scientists, which actually isn't that easy. But they're just doing it. And I would encourage everybody to do that. Sometimes we talk about GDPR and all this stuff, and we need McKinsey, we need so many PowerPoint slides before we get started. There are tools out there. When I made my PhD 50 years ago, at least it feels like that, it was, you couldn't pay that. That was IBM AI for millions of dollars. So now the best tool in the world is Google TensorFlow when it comes to AI. It's open source, free of charge. You have the data, you have the tools, so check it out and try it. And this is exactly what successful companies are doing. They're not talking about that, they just practice it. They jumpstart on that. And this is, I think, what we should do in Germany in particular.